Welcome back everyone to some more Dragon Quest Monsters. It's Haz here, and today I'm bringing you my 5 tips that I think everyone should know about playing this game that actually help quite a lot in being more efficient and also not missing vital gameplay mechanics to fully understand what is going on with your monsters. So I would say these tips will be useful for both beginners and veterans alike. For more Dragon Quest content, check out the rest of the channel that's already chock full of guides. But now, let's see those 5 essential tips that I think you should all know. My very first tip is to start catching as many monsters as you possibly can from the get-go, and keep catching monsters even if you're not necessarily interested in them or need them at all. And while I'm sure all of us want to catch them all, that's not exactly the reason I'm giving out this obvious tip, but because as you were playing, you might have already noticed that your monsters that you don't use and are in the paddock resting can actually earn experience and level up. I'm ashamed, I have to say, I haven't noticed this for days while I was playing the demo. I was so focused on just my main team and leveling my 8 monsters that I haven't looked at it at all. But yes, all your monsters gain experience from your battles and level up. The formula is also known for this, as your main team gets 100% of the experience from the battle they fight, then your reserve team of 4 monsters gain half of your experience, so 50%, and then every single monster in your paddock will earn 25% of all the experience you gain from your battles, which is still quite a good amount, especially if you grind large boss monsters. So catch as many monsters as you can, have 2 copies of them in your paddock just in case, for future synthesis if you need them, or to level up accessibility talent trees you will be able to use for synthesis, and this passive experience gain will come really handy on the long run. When starting out, I also highly recommend to not spread out your talent points for monsters and balance them between your talent trees, as you won't be able to unlock powerful spells that way, which I explained in my synthesis guide. You need to max out your existing talent trees to unlock brand new, more advanced versions of them, like Frizz Aficionado into Frizz Virtuoso, and unlock a Frizz. Now, to unlock these higher talent trees, you have to upgrade them to 100 points or whatever their maximum is, and see a star next to their name. But there is a trick as well, as if you fuse 2 monsters that have the same talent trees and they both have only 50-50 points in them, you can combine the 2 monsters and their talent tree progression will also be combined, allowing you to choose the next level and upgrade your talent tree exactly as if you had 100 points in them. This method of using 2 monsters with the same talent tree saves you 1 synthesis step and leveling your monsters, so it's quite a bit of a time save and also a lot more efficient. My next tip I've said a couple of times, but I still think it's very important. If you're thinking about grinding or doing more advanced synthesis and upgrades for your monsters, I really recommend always pushing the story as far as you can first, until you get roadblocked or something, since as you progress the game's story, you will always unlock new and higher level areas and monsters, but also additional features that will massively increase your leveling speed and efficiency at how you can synthesize and create new monsters. And getting stuck doing these grinds early can be somewhat of a waste of time, unless you simply have a lot of fun doing them. So my advice is to push the story a bit, especially at the start, get a few chapters deep, and only then start building a more complex monster team. You will have so much more variety and freedom between monsters that it will also be a lot more fun experimenting around. While we're also talking about scouting monsters, I'd also like to share a big hint towards increasing your chance to recruit monsters, as if you've been struggling with really low scouting power, the way to increase it is to have as high main stats on your monsters as possible, these main stats being a strength or a wisdom. Only these 2 stats matter, so it is important when you're trying to scout to equip monsters that mainly use these 2 stats. So if you're wondering why your high level monster have low scouting power even though they are super powerful, that is because likely they have low strength and wisdom stats. Additionally, there are also other tricks that can increase your chance at scouting, which I'll list on the screen, such as damaging the monster before trying to scout it, just be careful not to defeat it accidentally, using monster food of course, buffing your own monster's strength or wisdom with magical abilities, yes, buffs work on your monsters to increase your scouting power, and also reducing the enemy defenses with debilitating magic to make them weaker. So make sure that if you're using monsters that can buff or debuff, that you use those spells on the enemy monster first before trying to scout them. Finally, as long as you are in the underworld, remember that you need to build your reputation to make it easier to scout. This means doing quests, beating Colosseum ranks, and progressing the story too before you try to scout demons. Finally, my last tip is to make sure you thoroughly look around everywhere in the game, as not only will you find several treasure chests in every zone that hold valuable accessories that increase your attributes for monsters, but also the iconic mini-medal game is also in Dragon Quest Monsters, and some of them are hidden in the most ridiculous places possible. These mini-medals as usual can be exchanged for very powerful rewards such as cards to summon metal slimes, which as you know are usually the best way to level up in Dragon Quest, so you definitely don't want to miss out on those. But there are also other special rewards from mini-medals, even accessories, so make sure to look for them, but I will likely also release videos showing every single mini-medal location. So those were my 5 important tips for Dragon Quest Monsters that I think everyone should know about and take notes of. As while some of them aren't that advanced, all of these tips will either give you a lot of quality of life or efficiency to your overall gameplay and help you enjoy the Dark Prince quite a lot more. If you have any other tips you would personally add to this list, make sure to leave a comment so we can all learn from each other and gather as many helpful tips as possible. If you also use Twitter, I'd like to take the time to recommend following me there with the same HD Hazmy tag, where I will share images of advanced synthesis guides for Dragon Quest Monsters, like this image for my Hunter mech, but also a lot of general Dragon Quest content, and I'm trying to build our community, so all the help is welcome. But that is it for today everyone, hope this video helped. Thank you so much for joining in. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for future content. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all the next time.